Fam, what's up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. Welcome back to Cess Talks Sports. Shout out to my loyal fam that keep pulling up. And if you're new around here, welcome to the fam. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And everybody like, comment, share, and hype this video so I know you pulled up. Now let's take a deep dive into the systemic evolution and defensive dominance of Madina Okot. And I'm going to just call her Mo from here on out, y'all, okay? The 6'6" Kenyan powerhouse who just put her stamp on South Carolina women's basketball and already has folks whispering about SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, whispering, but not me. I'm saying it out loud. SEC Defensive Player of the Year. We're talking about more than a transfer, fam. We're talking about a transformation. A player who's not just filling Kamilla Cardoso's shoes, but reshaping the very blueprint of what a Dawn Staley center looks like. Let's start with the big picture. The acquisition of Mo from Mississippi State wasn't some last-minute scramble to patch a hole. It was a strategic move, a foundational reinforcement. When Cardoso left for the WNBA as a lottery pick, Big Drip didn't just go looking for size. She wanted a center who could add size and speed, someone who could rebound, defend, score, and most importantly, thrive in the relentless tempo of her system. Mo checked every box. At 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan and an 8'8" standing reach, she brings the elite measurables that instantly change opponent's shot selection. But measurables don't tell the whole story. It's how those tools translate into disruption, into chaos, into that Gamecocks brand of defense that suffocates teams and fuels transition buckets. Her debut came October 24th, 2025 against the Anderson Trojans in Colonial Life Arena. Fam, it wasn't just a debut. It was a declaration. The Gamecocks won 112-31. Yes, the opponent was undersized, a Division II squad with just one player taller than 6 feet. But here's the key. This wasn't about raw totals. It was about how Mo moved, how she executed, how she blended into the system instantly like she'd been wearing garnet and black for years. She dropped 17 points and grabbed 15 rebounds, sure, but it was 6 blocks and 3 steals that blew the roof off the place. 9 defensive stocks in a single outing, and not in a grinded-out half-court setting, but in a game where she was sprinting, pressing, running the floor. That's not a traditional big. That's a defensive disruptor. Think about it. The block-to-steal ratio tells you everything. Centers rack up blocks. Guards rack up steals. Mo gave you both. With a 2-to-1 balance, proving she has the lateral quickness to jump passing lanes and the rim protection that erase shots. And it wasn't just on the stat sheet. The tape showed her pulling off plays that centers aren't supposed to pull off. A coast-to-coast dribble into a contested finish at the rim? That's guard work in the 6'6" frame. A pull-up jumper off the dribble? That's versatility you don't expect from a player who just last year was mostly camping out in the dunker spot at Mississippi State. A breakaway steal into a layup. That's not just instinct. That's buy into a defensive scheme that gives her the green light to attack. And then, cherry on top, an assist to Tanaya Latson in transition, proof that she's not just only finishing plays, but creating for teammates. Now let's unpack this through the lens of a system fit. At Mississippi State, Mo was an efficient anchor. 11 points a game, nearly 10 rebounds, led the nation in field goal percentage at 64.9%. Her role was steady. Protect the rim, rebound, finish high percentage looks. Mississippi State's defense under Sam Purcell was all about containment. They wanted positional discipline. They wanted to funnel drives into Mo, let her contest shots, and then rebound. She averaged about a block a game. Respectable, but measured. Starkville wasn't asking her to create chaos. They were asking her to stabilize it. Fast forward to South Carolina. Big Drip doesn't just want containment. She wants disruption. She wants a defense that turns into offense, a block that turns into a run out, a steal that turns into a lob. And in Mo, she found a player who could morph from anchor into disruptor. The exhibition debut confirmed it. 6 blocks are one thing, but the 3 steals told the real story. She's not just staying home in the paint. She's stepping up, jumping passing lanes, pushing tempo. That's the evolution. Mississippi State used her to limit opportunities. South Carolina uses her to create opportunities. Her strengths are immediate and undeniable. Start with the measurables. That wingspan, that standing reach, that ability to completely change an opponent's driving angles just by being on the court. Add in her mobility, and fam, this is where she separates herself. Staley said she needed size and speed. Mo can flat out run. Against Anderson, she was sprinting the floor with ease. And when the Gamecock guards turned defense into fast break, she was right there to finish. And don't sleep on her efficiency baseline. When you're pairing her with high-volume scorers like Latson and Joyce Edwards, you don't need Mo to dominate possessions. You just need her to be automatic when she gets her touches. And with that historic 71.6% field goal mark for Mississippi State, she's the perfect complementary piece. But as impressive as the debut was, there are still developmental areas to watch. First, consistency against elite size. Anderson didn't have the bodies to really test her. The true bar will be when she's lined up against Kentucky's Clara Strack, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year, or when she's chasing the high motor of an SEC player. Sustaining those 9 defensive stocks a night is unrealistic, but sustaining the rate of disruption is the key. If she can average even 2 blocks and a steal per game in SEC play, she becomes a nightmare. The second growth area is foul management. At Mississippi State, foul trouble sometimes limited her minutes. Playing this aggressive, flying around, trying to block everything is high risk, high reward. She got to master the balance, staying disruptive without racking up quick fouls. South Carolina has depth, sure, but Mo needs to be on the floor heavy minutes if we're going to see her full impact. Now let's expand the full argument for her as SEC Defensive Player of the Year. No hedging, no half steps, just a complete case start to finish. The award, by profile and by history, lives with dominant post defenders whose counting stats pop and whose team defense strangles opponents. Blocks per game, rebounds per game, and the defensive reputation of the team behind them. That's the traditional backbone. And South Carolina gives any elite defender a structural advantage. The scheme is built to showcase stops. The rotations are drilled to squeeze shooting space, and the wins keep the spotlight bright. In that context, Mo isn't just eligible, she's optimized. Start with comparative framing. Clara Strack is the standard on paper. Elite shot blocker at 2.4 per game with 9.7 rebounds. And while her steals volume sits modestly around 0.8 a night, she controls the lane with positional excellence. Mo is the only front court defender positioned to hybridize both strengths in a single body and within a single role. 6 blocks in the exhibition confirmed the vertical denial. 3 steals in the same game confirmed lateral range and anticipatory disruption. That blend matters because DPOY voters are increasingly rewarding complete defensive range, not just swats at the rim, but turnovers created in space that flip possessions into points. Project that forward using conservative, scalable targets, not exhibition inflation, okay? If Okot sustains a baseline of about 2 blocks per game and 1 steal per game in SEC play, she immediately stands alone as the only one true center producing top-tier rim protection and perimeter disruption. Keep the glass work strong and dependable off that 15-rebound debut signal, and you've got the 3 pillars the award weighs most: blocks, rebounds, and ability to tilt possessions through steals. Now, layer the team context onto it. South Carolina is projected as the league's overwhelming favorite. Winning teams with elite defenses generate DPOY winners. The center, who serves as the linchpin of Staley's scheme, benefits from the reputational lift that comes from holding opponents to low efficiency and forcing live ball turnovers that turn into breakaway points the entire arena feels. Voters remember game flow more than box scores. The swat into the stands that kills a run. The chest-to-chest hedge at the level that takes away a star guard's rhythm. The mid-court deflection that becomes 2 the other way. Mo is already delivering those high imprint plays inside a system designed to amplify them. Anticipate the counters and address them head on. The Ederson game was against a smaller team, true, which is why we're not leaning on totals. We're leaning on how she produced them. Stocks translate when the mechanics are sound: closeout angles, timing off the floor, chest hit positioning on switches, economy of steps in recovery, active hands without reaching through the body. All of those mechanics showed up. Can she do it without fouling? That's the tension in her role. And it's solvable via usage and emphasis, not wishful thinking. Minute management plus emphasis on verticality at the rim and disciplined digs in the gaps will let the motor run hot without stacking cheap whistles. South Carolina's depth helps cushion the risk, but the pathway is clear. Fewer swipes down, more chest up contests, meet drivers early with length, not body, use the stride advantage to beat angles instead of cutting across shoulders. Those are coaching points Staley's program has executed for years with elite bigs. Bring the historical precedents home. This program has produced and platformed award-winning defenders because the identity doesn't change. Defense has to create offense, and that's where Mo's unique offensive mobility becomes part of her defensive candidacy. A center who can block at the cup, pick pockets at the nail, and then sprint the lane to finish the break has more visible voter-facing sequences than a stationary anchor. The tape against Anderson already cataloged the complete sequence: deny, secure, run, finish, or dish, including that assist to Latin as proof of connective tissue. See, voters see that. Analysts cut those clips, and the narrative builds with every game where her stocks correlate to runouts and scoring swings. That's not just counting stats, that's momentum creation. And DPOY races are won on momentum creation as much as raw volume. Set the target metrics plainly so the bar is visible. For Mo, seize the award. The pathway looks like this: maintain the defensive stocks average north of 3.0, blocks plus steals combined, stabilize rebounding presence consistent with her role as the backline anchor, and keep fouls per 40 in a range that preserves late quarter and late game availability. Do that while South Carolina defends at an elite clip and stacks wins, and the decision matrix for voters simplifies quickly. She'll be the one front court player who checks every defensive column while sitting at the heart of the league's best unit. That's the cleanest case on the board. Zoom back out and tie it to the season arc. Mo didn't come here to be stationary. She came here to run, to erase, to disrupt, to finish, to embody the exact traits Staley identified as non-negotiables when she said this roster needed additional size and speed. The exhibition was proof of concept. The system is the amplifier, and the race for DPOY becomes less a question of if and more of a question of can anyone else match the hybrid output. Clara Strack will block shots. That's bankable. Mo is positioned to do both at scale, though, inside the system and spotlight that rewards the full spectrum of defensive impact. That's the argument start to finish. The conclusion isn't just about awards, it's about evolution. Mo didn't transfer to South Carolina to be Kamilla Cardoso 2.0. She came here to be something new. Her debut proved that she's not just a stationary post, she's a 6'6 disruptor who can run the floor, guard multiple spaces, and fuel the attack. To win SEC DPOY, she's got to sustain those stocks and stay on the floor. But even if the numbers dip, her impact is already undeniable. She's validated Dawn Staley's scouting, the size, the speed, the ability to do things that most centers wouldn't dare try. Looking forward, Mo, alongside Latson and Edwards, creates a balance that makes this South Carolina squad terrifying. Latson brings scoring power, Edwards brings energy and explosion, and Mo locks down the back line with versatility that can bend an entire game plan. This season isn't about holding on to what we had. It's about evolving into something even scarier. And with Mo at the core, the Gamecocks' defensive identity isn't just intact, it's ascending. Fam, let's call it what it is. This is systemic evolution. The position of center in Dawn Staley's system has leveled up again. And if Mo sustains this trajectory, we're not just talking DPOY, we're talking about rewriting the prototype of what a modern center looks like in college basketball. All right, fam, make sure you drop a comment with your thoughts on Mo's debut. Is she already the front runner for SEC Defensive Player of the Year? Do you think her evolution takes the South Carolina squad into untouchable territory? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this video with someone who loves the game. Catch y'all next time on Cess Talks Sports, where we always bring you the latest on the rising stars and legends in the making. Keep hooping. Stay tuned. Talk soon. I'm out.